All right, man. Dan Campbell explains why the Lions didn't go after Trey Hendrickson, um, Micah Parsons, and I guess some additional defensive end help, edge help. Dan Campbell explains why the Lions didn't get involved with trade talks for Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson, and others. Explains what they'll do to do so in the future. See what he said. So I think it's all eco passing. Really, I really think it's got to be. Campbell said you got to check all boxes. You have to be able to check every one of them off and say it's right. We can make it. We can make it financially. Can make it work financially? What are you going to have to give up? There's more than just he's a great player. Well, of course he is. That's the easy one. But yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it. What are these boxes? Do they fit the scheme? Do they fit the culture? Can you afford to make this move? Do you have assets to give up? Is it worth the move? And for the most part, that's a fact. A lot of these guys that they may be hesitant to give up on were handpicked. Now, these are some guys that they didn't handpick or they didn't draft, and they inherited them from Quinn Trisha. Then I think for the most part they probably would they would probably be cool with it. They not our guys, you know what I'm saying? Don't really care about it. They not our guys. Let's keep it moving. But since they, handpicked these guys, you know what I'm saying, and these are their guys, they their children. You don't trade your children, do you? If you don't have to. I mean, like the Fantastic Four. Have you seen the movie? Yeah, you don't want to trade your children. So I definitely understand where they coming from. Like, okay, we can financially work, but you have to give up something. Jameson Williams, Brian Branch, you know what I'm saying? And Aiden Hutchinson, you got to pay these guys. And I think right now a lot of these guys have played very, very well. I think a lot of these guys have played very, very well. So they like, man, maybe they didn't expect a lot of these draft picks to play, or a lot of these guys that they handpicked to play as well as they did. And now that a lot of these guys have played very, very well, you know what I'm saying? It's just to the point where it's like, they played well. We picked them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to stick with them. So I definitely understand the train of thought. I definitely understand the train of thought. So, yeah, yeah, and that's just what it is. Y'all willing to give up J-Mo and give up Brian Branch and possibly, give up a few of those other guys for help up front. I mean, it's very important. Therefore, if they was going to do that, hey, the plan was supposed to be for Ennis Rackstraw to step up, be healthy, play well. Then you could have used that money you lose on DJ Reed, you know what I'm saying, to put it into a guy like Josh Sweat. You know what I'm saying? To put it into a guy like Josh Sweat. So yeah, you catching the drift now. So that's why draft picks have to work out. When they don't work out the way they work out, and Pascal and Enrique, when they don't pan out, then now you need a defensive end. Now you need, and the no draft is perfect. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that these draft picks are perfect or they got to be perfect. You're gonna have some misses, but obviously a lot of these misses, they continue to be, health wise. That's what it is. It's health wise. And what a lot of people are saying is like, damn, ninja, stop taking chances on injury prone players. That's it. It's not for a lack of talent, but had, Enrique worked out, or had Pascal worked out, had Rackstar worked out, either A, you wouldn't have needed to go out there and get a defensive end. That's a fact. You wouldn't have needed to get a defensive end. And that's the God honest truth. You wouldn't have needed to get a defensive end. You wouldn't be talking about, oh, Aleem McNeil is injured and this is, Enrique. You could have counted on him to come in and plug in. So, had Rackstraw been healthy, hey, guess what? I wouldn't have had to pay DJ Reader. I could have afforded a Micah Parsons, or I could have afforded a Trey Hendrickson. Hey, you could even say, hey, this year they could have just drafted. They could have just fucking drafted a defensive end. They could have just drafted a defensive end. You wouldn't even be having this conversation. So of course, that's the mind-boggling thing, or the thing that kind of amps you up, is the fact that they literally had multiple opportunities to fill this position. There were a lot of opportunities for them to fill this position, and they didn't. Whether it was through draft, through failure to move up in weight, whatever it was, there were opportunities. So I get it. I definitely get it. But we here, and people make mistakes, but sometimes, I don't know how much y'all watch UFC, you watch boxing, it's the reason why they got cornermen, you know what I'm saying? Reason they got a trainer and they got a second and assistant. When you in the ring, you know what I'm saying? When you in the ring, you can't see some of the things that people can see outside the ring. That's the crazy thing about it. A lot of people outside the ring, they see what you can't see. It's different from being in there, and it's the same thing here. Maybe we can just start to see some things that Brad doesn't see, that Dan doesn't. And guess what? They see things that we don't see in practice, in training, in attitude, in meetings, in punctuality, in attitude, and camaraderie, and chemistry, on how they mix with other people. So don't forget it. They see things that we don't see. So, that is what it is, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere from X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.